How's it all going? You're quite tired.
Yeah, we are. It's been a long week. Just working to the end of the promo schedule really before we get on tour.
I came down to the Astoria gig. I thought it was fucking ace. Was that one of your highlights so far, playing live?
Well, it was our third gig, and we're really pleased with it. I think it's good to go out and play out with new material and just get out on stage. It's been ages.
How did you feel the new songs went down?
Surprisingly well.
Surprisingly well, and everybody was singing along to them already. It was a bit worrying.
There is quite an excitement about the album. I mean, even with the introductory track, which is instrumental, which was also going to want you to find out why you decided to put an instrumental track to start with. It feels like, come on.
Well, yeah, there's an element of that. You know, there's an element of kind of, you know, we're back and we rock, you know, kind of thing. It's not, you know, this is not our acoustic album. And it's just, I think it would have interrupted the flow if it was anywhere else, yeah, on the record, you know, because it would have broken up the flow of what was going on, simply because it's an instrumental. So, I mean, we didn't realise this at the time that we placed it at the beginning of the album, but, you know, because there is no vocals, it sort of like pulls people in, you know, to the record, you know, first they get this kind of sonic slap across the face, and then, you know, they're waiting for the vocals to start, they don't, and they keep waiting, and it sort of sets up this feeling of intrigue, because by the time they get to the second song, which is musically completely different, then they still don't know where the album's going, kind of thing, which is, I think, a good thing.
Good teaser.
Yeah, and you kind of realise at that point you've got to kind of delve into it to figure it out.
Bitter End is well, it's already charted. What was your reaction with the chart position?
Really surprised.
Yeah, it's cool, very cool. It's
a confidence booster.
Absolutely, really good for morale, you know. I mean, singles are singles, they kind of, you know, hit the charts and then disappear, you know, kind of thing. We've always been kind of a bit more of an albums band, I think, you know, but it bodes well, you know, for the record. And I mean, in a way, it'd be nice when all of this, the first single and the album chart positions, get out of the way, so you can just kind of get back into the business of like playing good shows and just selling records over a long period of time, you know, and bringing your music to more people, you know. So it'd be nice when that's kind of like gone, when you're out of that limbo period and everybody's like a little bit less stressed out over, you know, of the marketing things and everything like that. We can just go on the road and promote the album that way, and, you know, sell our record by bringing the music to people.
What was your reaction to the finished video to Bitter End? And obviously I spoke to you a little bit.
It's really made up.
Yeah.
It was nice to make a performance-based video again. Just sort of standing in front of the camera and rock. Everything.
People still do come up and go like, ooh, you know, how did you get permission to get on that thing?
Really?
You're like, well, you know, man, we had to write a few letters and stuff, and
I wouldn't let a skateboard.
yeah, but they would only let us up there for like 3 hours, and then
We took our shoes off.
really.
Got Jim Abis. Is it Abis or Abis? I don't know.
Abis.
Abis. Okay, on board.
Into the abyss.
On board with the album. How much of Jim is in the album, as it were?
This much. I don't know. Jim's, you know, Jim turned this album around a lot. It changed a lot of things, but it's hugely interactive between the four of us. It's kind of, we both travelled from two different points to go to another point. So I don't know if there's any less or more or anything like that. I just think it's just a perfect collaboration, really.
Brian, you were saying on the bike that you were actually quite surprised that it was rockier than, obviously, with Jim's input than you expected to be. Do you still feel like that, given a bit more time between having made the record?
Well, no, I mean, it could have been a lot of things, really, you know, sort of, so, you know, you wonder where it's going to end up. If you're kind of open to lots of possibilities, you know, then you kind of, you're open to being surprised where it goes. You know, naturally you think, due to due to working Jim's pedigree, you know, with more sort of like electronic-based bands, which, you know, go, you know, could end up sounding like Kraftwerk, you know, kind of thing. But I think it's very cool, and I think I'm quite proud that it's, you know, it's still uniquely Placebo, and still rocks really hard, even though it's kind of got more studied electronic rock. Because that means our identity wasn't kind of like sucked up and swallowed up by, you know, a producer, you know, with big ideas. We didn't totally change our sound, things like that. And you know, that whatever growth we're going through is that it's quite organic, really, you know, as opposed to sort of taking calculated stylistic changes, you know, within your career, you know, like Radiohead or Bowie or something, you know. You know, particularly if you find sort of like the way that you maybe used to write songs a bit limiting, you know, just only doing it like 3 people in a room, you know, kind of with the bass drums and guitar, you know. You want to spread your wings a little bit, kind of like songwriting-wise. There's a lot to experiment with, you know. There's, you know, a lot of different instruments to fiddle about with, pieces of technology that are quite fun, you know. So. Yeah, it's feeling around in the dark, isn't it? You know, just to see what feels nice.
Yeah. Nice. ways of seeing, really. I think that's what Jim brought to it. He sort of showed us different ways of listening and seeing music. That's why he became an integral part of it. He becomes like the 4th member of the band. It needs to be done to be able to share the ideas and you know, get things done. No, it was perfect because there was a bit of creative friction, but that's good. But,
do you recognise that when it's happening?
I'm fucking.
No, obviously the friction, but
yeah, it's just kind of. I think it's just. I think the worst thing that could ever happen in the studio, something like doing bass, is just disagree on something.
Okay. Do you still feel as challenging as you did when you first came out?
It depends on what kind of like context you're talking. What you mean challenging by? I mean, sort of.
I think we're challenged more. Challenged by people because of what we are.
Right.
So I think that. Like you say, the actual people a challenge thing comes from them, not us.
Right.
And then we set out to go, right, you lot outside now.
Yeah.
It comes from another way.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know.
Which ain't our problem.
I think it's also quite pretentious.
I gotta go.
No, I also think it's quite pretentious to sit back and go like, yes, well, in 1997, I challenged like, notions of attraction, you know, and became a boy-girl conundrum. You know, it's just like, you know, you kind of, you really don't want to come across that way.
Okay, I want to ask you a little bit about some of the lyrics. In this picture, it's about an S and M relationship. I wondered if yeah, apparently. I wondered if you could expand upon that, because I don't really have much of an idea of what goes on in an S and M relationship.
Wicked.
Well, I could recommend a few magazines for you, you know. No, I would say it certainly has kind of like sadomasochistic imagery within it. You know, it's kind of a metaphor for self-destruction within relationships, just self-destructive relationships. You know, most people who I think who enjoy bondage or S&M aren't really into sort of like. It's the people who are really into pain who kind of enjoy things like having cigarettes stubbed out on them. You know, I think. The metaphors are meant to be much larger than that. You know, it's not literally about, you know, strapping you into the crucifixion position, you know, and then spinning you around whilst whipping you with a butt plug, you know, kind of thing. It's not really. I can see this is, you know, raising a certain amount of interest.
Fascinating.
And there's a lot of lyrical or lyrics about relationships, and you say about the ghosts and living with the ghosts of relationships in the past. Every time you sing one of the songs that is perhaps about a relationship that may have negative parts of it, do you feel more, every time you sing it, do you feel better each time you sing it? Or is it you write the song
No, you write
and
the
that's
song
it?
and that's it. You know, that's catharsis over therapy session over, you know, kind of thing. So that's it, you know. When you're playing it, your only worry is like, are they in the audience? You know, kind of thing. When it dawns on you that they might be there, you know, kind of thing. Hey, you know, should have made me sign a confidentiality agreement, you know. We had a T-shirt once that said, I went out with Brian Molko and all I got was a lousy ballad. I quite like that one.